Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of History Quest. It's that time of year again for the McLeod County Fair, and this year we have a special treat for you. We have Bill Puckett, the field manager of the traveling 9/11 exhibit that's here in Hutchinson. Bill, how you doing?
Good, thank you for having us, appreciate it.
Yeah, this is great. So what can you tell us about the memorial?
So this is our new one. We debuted this one last May. We've had an exhibit since 2013. We retired our old one, and this is our new modern version, and it's pretty awesome. All the articles that are in here came from Ground Zero, and it's pretty neat to take people through and let them see and touch and hear the stories of what transpired that day.
Excellent. Could you take us on a little tour?
Absolutely. When you first come in the door here, the first thing you're going to see is the layout. It's a 16-acre complex of 7 buildings. Of course, 1 and 2, that's the North Tower and South Tower. Number 3 is the Marriott. Building 4 was a 4, 5, and 6 were like 30-story office buildings, and Building 7 was over there. That was a 50-story complex. Of course, the entire complex was damaged due to the towers coming down, and so now it's a beautiful memorial there. You have the museum, and then you have the fountains. It is absolutely incredible. Of course, right here, this TV, this is the actual footage of the towers being hit. We show this because when we go to schools, a lot of kids have never seen this. So it gives them the opportunity to really witness what transpired, and then it leads us into going what happened after. This piece right here, this is a piece of the aluminum facade that was on the side of the building. And what's really neat, right above it, you see the 4 photos. You have before, you have during, and then after. And it actually captures it to a T. Of how it really was. And then when you come around over here to this side, it is kind of neat. We have the architectural blueprints that shows the exact structural compound of the towers. And then here, this is actually a piece of the slurry wall. They call it the bathtub. Because where the towers were built, the Hudson's 50 feet deep, the towers were 100 feet deep. So they built the slurry wall all around the entire complex to keep the water out. And it's actually pretty cool. You touch it, and it's kind of surreal, you know. Then you look at some of the facts and figures of the towers. 43, they started talking about this big financial complex, and then 62, they broke ground, started construction in 65, and then 1987, World Trade 7 was complete to complete the 16 acres. What's really amazing, people can't fathom, 110 stories, each floor was an acre. So you had 110 acres above ground, 6 acres below ground, and they would move. They'd move 6 inches either way. They would sway. 21,800 windows in each building, 99 elevators in each building, and 40 tons of food delivered to each tower daily.
Wow.
It's like here, the grocery store here, maybe get 40 tons a week, possibly, but you can figure 40 tons daily.
Wow.
And of course, the 1993 attack, a lot of people have forgotten about that one. They drove a U-Haul down into the basement area. Back then you could park underneath the towers, and they detonated it. It blew a 6-story crater, and 6 people unfortunately lost their life that day. When they arrested the people for doing that, their number one saying that they kept repeating over and over was, "They will come down." So it took from 93 to 2001 to figure out how to do it. Of course, right here, the flight pass, it's really neat because people don't really understand how the planes took off from Logan and how they got back to the towers, and it's really neat seeing that. Of course, 846, North Tower being attacked, 903, the South Tower. And the interesting synopsis of this, the South Tower, even though it was hit second, it was the first tower to come down because it was hit at a lower level around the 65th floor. So more of the building above it for weight was putting pressure on that area. So that's why it collapsed first. The North Tower, it was hit up about the 85th floor. The cabinet over here, these are just articles from different rigs that were destroyed that day, 101, 28, 105. You have a Halligan tool, a nozzle, and then the breathing apparatus is really unique. It's from the New York Fire Patrol, which is different from the FDNY. Fire Patrol actually worked for insurance companies. That's where they got, that's who paid them. And if, say you had a 20-story structure, say the top 3 floors were on fire, they would come to about floor 15 and cover up and protect everything that was underneath. Keith Roma was the only Fire Patrol personnel to have lost his life that day. And then, of course, you come around to the cabinet over here. The really neat story here. This shirt was worn by Dennis Oberg Sr. that was on Tower Ladder 114. The top photo there, that's his son, Dennis Oberg Jr. He was on Tower Ladder 105. That's the actual shirt that his father wore down there looking for his son. Dennis Oberg Sr. on September 12th retired. He had had over 20 years on the job, and he spent the rest of his time down there looking for his son. This is a little small photo to the right over here. There are 5 dads that are down there looking for their sons. One gentleman's actually looking for 2. Father Judge, the photo over here, he was the number 1 person to lose their life that day. He passed from a heart attack. He was in the lobby blessing the firemen as they were going up. The steel here was donated by Ladder Truck 3. It resembles the 2 towers. And a really interesting story, the turnout code over here beside of it. In 2018, I was shipped this bunker coat and told that I needed to find a place to put it in here. End of the day, I've set up, and I take the turnout coat out of the box. It still has a smoke smell to it. And just for that evening, I hang it on the steel there, knowing nothing about John McAvoy, nothing. Come in the next morning, and I have a place I can go to, see where all the guys work. John McAvoy was on Ladder Truck 3. So it just made it perfect that that's where it was hanging.
Wow.
Of course, the photo in between them, William, George, and Eddie, that's a famous photo. We always do a trivia question. That photo went around the world. How did it go? It was on a stamp. And of course, people don't use stamps anymore much, but yeah, that's how it went. And then behind that, you see the debris field. The towers went from 110 stories to 11 stories of rubble in roughly 11 seconds. And so you can see, especially if you look at their photo and look at the background of the photo, you can just see the mangled, intertwined steel, concrete. It was a total mess. Everything was sorted on site 3 times, and then it was taken to Staten Island. It was sorted when it was unloaded, and then it was sorted again when it went on to the conveyor belt, and then it was hand sorted again as it went down the conveyor belt. And then you come around on over it, you have a ladder that was on ladder 11. You can just see the destruction of that. The coin case here is really interesting. Those coins were in J.P. Morgan Chase in a vault there. And the ones that are not in those cases, you can see they've gotten so warm, they've started to bend a little bit. And then the pennies that are in those cases, they're very valuable. And the other interesting aspect of that, when you see the glass that's in there, that's some of the very few pieces that were found. It was not, even though it was 21,800 windows, there were not a lot of glass that was discovered.
Just shattered.
Absolutely. The golf ball, the only thing we could figure out about the golf ball, either someone had a hole in one or it was the best round they ever played and it was on their desk. That's the only thing we can come up with that. And then of course this wall right here, this is a very sentimental wall. You have all 406 first responders that lost their life that day, 343 firemen, 23 from the NYPD and 37 from the Port Authority and 3 from the court system. I firmly believe personally that a lot of those guys knew they weren't coming out of that building, but they had a job to do and they were doing their job. A lot of heroes up there, a lot of years of service, a lot of dads, fathers, uncles, brothers, cousins. And you have to realize one thing that's very special. The guys that are up there that worked the night tour on September 10th, they told their families goodbye that evening when they went on shift. And their families not knowing what happened to their loved one till later on. And that's pretty tough to know that. And of course, I'm sure you probably read, but last week, 3 more people were identified, 24 years later. All the remains are still in the museum, and every time a DNA process changes, they go through those remains to see if they can discover anybody else. And fortunately, they did, 3 more people.
Oh, that's great.
24 years later. And then if we go up the ramp here and go into the back room, when we get up the ramp, this glass enclosure right here, this is actual piece of the lobby floor. It's a piece of marble. It's 3.5 inches thick, and this one piece weighs 700 pounds.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, it's a big one. And you can see right here how it was in the lobby. Absolutely phenomenal, beautiful. And then this room here, this is the good of September 11, 2001. This is all about the foundation and how we got started, what we do. This is a scrolling list of all 2,977 we lost that day. We categorically broke it down: FDNY, NYPD, the Port Authority, the court system, the flights, Pentagon, Shanksville, and the employees. And the reason we do it this way, traveling around the country like we do, it makes it easy for a loved one in other parts of the country to find who they're looking for. Of course, the memorials here, you have the Trade Center Memorial, Flight 93, and the Pentagon. They all have meanings, and it's really, really special. The Trade Center Memorial, when the water comes over the edge of the fountains, it's in these really big drops. They do not touch till they get 30 feet deep and they go into the reflection pool. That symbolizes we were individuals, we come together, and now we're united, because all those that were never recovered, it's a final resting spot. Flight 93, they have built a new memorial there, and you walk the flight path of the plane, and it's really cool. Throughout that flight path, there are telephones, and you can pick up the receivers, and you actually hear the phone calls.
Oh.
And then the Pentagon, the benches replicate the aircraft. If the bench faces the building, the names are engraved how they were seated that day. Faces away from the building, that's how they went inside the Pentagon. Very, very, very nice memorials. And then this young man right here, this is our foundation hero. This is Steven Siller. Squad 1 in Brooklyn, had worked the night tour. He was driving home, and he was actually going to meet his brothers to play golf that afternoon, and he called his wife, Sally. The North Tower had already been attacked, to tell her to tell his brothers he'll catch up with them later. They came back to the firehouse. Squad 1 had already been dispatched. So he grabbed his gear, put it in his truck. He was going to drive to the towers To go from Brooklyn over to Lower Manhattan, the only way to get there is through the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel. It was closed because when the North Tower was attacked, every bridge, tunnel, and subway instantly closed. He got out of his truck at the mouth of the tunnel, put his turnout gear on and a full air pack, all that 60 pounds, and he ran 3.5 miles through the tunnel to meet his squad. They were in the South Tower when it came down, and unfortunately, none of Stephen's remains were ever recovered. The other interesting part about this young man's life, he was an orphan at age 10. All his brothers and sisters over here, they had lost their parents. And so Russell, the older at that time, took Stephen into his home. And they all had a helping hand in raising him. I didn't know Stephen, I know the family, and I'm gonna tell you, just incredible of what they do. So in 2002, they started this foundation, not only to honor their little brother, but all our heroes of that day. And in the beginning, the money that was raised through the foundation went to help orphans. Now we have transpired tremendously over the years. Now we have roughly 400 full-time employees, and some of our programs are amazing. And they're right here to my left. A fallen first responder, any first responder loses their life in the line of duty, we will pay their family's mortgage in full. Smart Home Program. These are homes that we build for our catastrophically injured servicemen and women from Iraq and Afghanistan. We had over 400 return missing at least one limb. 4 of those young men returned home missing all 4 and survived. So they're computerized, they operate from an iPad, and they are as independent in their homes as you and I are in ours. What's really spectacular is they not only choose where they want the home built, but the floor plan as well. We purchase a home, we build it, and we give it to them. And it's a 100% mortgage-free home. Same thing for our Gold Star families. Those are families that lost loved ones. If they already have a home, we pay their mortgage in full. If they do not have a home, same thing, we build them one as well, and it is free to them also. Our newest one is our Homeless Veterans Program. We purchased a number of hotels right after the virus. Every one of them was remodeled. Every room was turned into like a mini energy efficient apartment. So they have a little kitchenette and everything they need in there. That photo actually is a Holiday Inn Express in Houston, Texas. It will hold 88 vets, and it's at capacity. And now we not only give them a place to live, we also rehabilitate them as well with therapists and counselors that are on staff. And just over the past 2 years, we've taken over 10,000 homeless veterans off the street. Wow. It's really neat to see that happening, because without our veterans, you or I, no one, we get to do anything we do today. So we got to take care of those who take care of us. We also have a 9/11 Institute, which this exhibit falls under the Institute. It's our education program. And we have our own curriculum, and it's free on our website, and it's age appropriate from kindergarten through 12th grade. And the cool thing about that, it's now used in all 50 states and Puerto Rico. And our website is the letter T, the number 2, the letter T.org. And you can go to our website, download it. It's 100% free. The TV scrolling here, this is all the brothers and sisters we've lost since that day from 9/11 related illnesses. Over 400 FDNY, nearly 450 NYPD, 23 from the court system, and 18 from the Port Authority. There are over 67 different types of cancers right there. So it is not over by any means. Of course, the statue in the center, that is a replication of Stephen Siller running that day. The artist, over 3,000 hours to do that, and it is absolutely detailed. The far right wall over there, what an incredible story. That young man is Kyle Hockenberry, a Marine. He stepped on an IED in Afghanistan, and he instantly lost both legs and his left arm. That's the actual photo of him in the medevac right after it happened. They took it because of his tattoo. For those I love, I will sacrifice. That's a powerful statement. Mm-hmm. You know, it really needs no explanation. But the young man was transported from Afghanistan to Germany back to Walter Reed. And in total, he's had over 400 surgeries. And he survived. And of course, we have built him and his wife and 2 young daughters a computerized home. And he is living life and doing well. The far wall over there, we call it the flag wall. It's just a collage of photos from events we have all around the country in different states. The big one is in New York City, the last Sunday in September every year. We have a run that commemorates exactly what Stephen did that day, follows his footsteps. It was pouring down rain last year, and we had right at 40,000 people there participating.
Wow.
So it grows every year. Everyone we give a home to, our veterans, they're there. They lead the way through the tunnel. It is a tremendous day. And the other big question people ask is, how do we do this? Well, it's all through donations. And out of every dollar bill we collect, 93 cents of that dollar bill goes to all the programs I mentioned earlier.
Oh.
So we do pretty good. And this exhibit, you know, we travel all over the country. This year we added Maine, and we will be adding Alabama to our list, and that will bring us up to 40 states we've been in. And we've been in Minnesota quite a few times before, and but it's nice to be in a different area, because the real part of when we were first built was to take this to parts of the country where people will never have the opportunity to go to the city to see that museum. So the artifacts that are in here, it allows us to travel and take it to those areas, to give those people that opportunity. But yeah, it's fantastic. I've been a part of it going on 10 years now, and man, I can't think of anything else I'd want to be doing.
All right. Well, thanks, Bill. That was amazing. This is just, words can't describe it. It's just humbling and very, just amazing.
It is. And, you know, to see the different emotions of people. You know, I'm standing here now, they just brought a new group in down there, and the first person I noticed is a Vietnam vet that's there, and got to thank him for his service. But the one thing I was taught, and I'd like to teach this to your viewers, is I never tell a Vietnam vet, thank you for your service. I always say, welcome home. And this gentleman right up here, Charlie Gussman, he's a retired chief from the FDNY and also a Vietnam vet. He taught me that. And, you know, we got to honor them because they went through a lot. And it's really special to see all the people come in and go through this, but to hear their stories, you know, of where they were, what they were doing, and it's just phenomenal, man. I have my kids tell me, said, Dad, you need to write a book about all the places you've been, all the people you have met, all the stories, and man, they go on forever.
Where's your next stop?
I will be in Lyndhurst, Ohio.
Okay.
I just came from Connecticut, and go back to Ohio, and then to Massachusetts and Alabama, Indiana, and then up in New York, New Jersey, down to Florida, back to Illinois, back to New Jersey, and then I got the real cool thing this year. I'm doing this little bitty football game in December, the Army-Navy game.
Okay.
So that's going to be really awesome.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, go Navy.
Go Navy. Go Army.
I can give you viewers like a military lesson, like Army. It's really ain't a real Marine yet, you know. And Navy, never again volunteer your service, you know. And of course, they always say Marines are, you know, muscles are required, intelligence not expected, you know. So we have some fun with that, you know. We certainly do. Yeah.
All right.
Well, thank you again.
Well,
Appreciate
yes,
you coming.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Well, folks, that is a wrap. I'd like to thank our host one more time here, Bill.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Great place. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you soon.